Ko Sir William Seal.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. I believe that most of the significant arguments for why this bill should not proceed have already been articulated by my senior colleagues here, and so happy just to share some experiences as well, Mr. Speaker. The first experience is this morning. The Social Services Select Committee visited a local organisation down the road from here, an organisation that deals with young men predominantly, young men who have suffered in their lives from their homes. And I have to say, Mr. Speaker, sitting there and listening to the presentation by these young men of how many of them were abused violently, sexually, by people who supposedly loved them. If you had heard the experiences of these young people, I believe that all of us would be united by saying to that party there, it's not okay what they are attempting to do tonight. I'm reminded, sir, that as a young man, my father said constantly to me that if a whanga le whanau a manu I fua malawala au, ai whanga le whanau a tangata I upu. What that means, sir, is that the children of birds are fed with fruits and the leaves of trees, but the children of men are fed with words, and they are words of patience, they are words of love, they are words of example. And I have to say, sir, if we as parents have to resort to force, whether it be reasonable, whatever the force that this bill is attempting to define, if we have to resort to that, then we have failed in providing words of encouragement, words of support, words of love, words of faith to our young people. And to further illustrate my point, sir, I once upon a time bought a mandarin tree. And because I'm quite busy, I just dug a hole and put it next to the driveway that I drove in. Now, I didn't take any notice of that mandarin tree, sir, and it grew crooked. And my car ran into the leaves as it grew. And finally, one part of that mandarin tree was dead, and I had to cut that particular part. But I was too late when I was trying to remove the dead part of that tree. It eventually affected the whole tree. The point I'm making here, sir, if we do not feed our children with words of support, words of love, words of encouragement, words of faith, then it is going to be too late. And irrespective of whether we cut their hand or whip it or use reasonable force as determined by that small party up there, I would say to you, sir, we've wasted our time. And I want to say that the community as a whole has moved on, Mr. Speaker. The community has moved on. I constantly hear on the rugby field, any time somebody attempts to be violent, whether words or facial features, there is always somebody out on the field saying that's not okay. And I think that we've created a culture where we are respecting our young people. We are respecting the fact that these young children will become future leaders of our society, of our families, of our community, and indeed of this country. That if we now resort to the old ways, then, sir, I have to say there is no place for this bill, no place for the kind of rhetoric that is coming from that particular House. And I again repeat, it is not okay. It is not okay. Thank you for the opportunity.